This is Dr. Jeanette Raymond, psychologist, psychotherapist, relationship expert, and author of Now You Want Me, Now You Don't. Today I'm going to talk to you about the issue of safety that comes up so often in the work I do with individual people and couples in their most significant relationships. Now, there's basically two kinds of safety issues. One is, I don't feel safe to speak my mind because I don't know how they're going to take it. They might get upset. I don't want to upset them. Or I can't stand up for myself because then the other person feels threatened. Or I better not express my feelings because they may not be able to handle it, and then I will not have a relationship. So basically, those kind of feelings of not feeling safe are to do with the threat of loss. That if you express yourself in a certain way and have certain opinions and you have limits and so on, that you're going to push away important people in your life. So you rather just be quiet and have the relationship than say what you feel and threaten the loss of it. Now, the second kind of issue to do with safety is really what I'm going to go into more detail about. And it's what's going on inside you regarding your personal feelings of boundaries and about protection and about having your feet firmly on the ground in the way in which you interact, who you can depend on, who you can rely upon, and so on. And I'm going to do that by telling you the story of Rita and Tony, who were my clients in couples therapy. So Rita often complained of not feeling safe enough, and Tony just couldn't get it. She would say, well, I don't feel safe at night unless you pull down all the blinds, put 100 locks on the doors, build big gates and fences around everywhere, have all these alarm systems and so on. And he didn't get it because, no matter how often or whatever he did, she still complained of the same thing. So he just didn't get it, and then they'd have arguments and fights. So in our work together, I noticed that she would also often talk about feeling unsafe when they were with friends who would drink a lot, and her husband would join in. And she would start to feel very unsafe when they began to kind of get to that point where they were drinking more than enough to just be uninhibited. They might fall off to sleep. They might become lewd and say horrible things and become obscene, or touch each other in ways that were not okay, and kind of blur all the boundaries of their particular relationships. And this was very, very, very threatening to her. And she'd get extremely upset with her husband, Tony, because he was like in the same boat, half there, half not there, half drunk, half asleep, half not. He didn't get it. He didn't feel unsafe. This is just fun. This is what people do. They don't mean it. It's not a big deal. Why are you getting so upset? And of course, this infuriated her and made her feel even more unsafe because she couldn't trust him to be there to protect her from these kind of boundary violations that were extremely upsetting. So one day I asked her to talk to her husband in my therapy office about her memories of feeling unsafe as a child. And she'd never shared this with him. She just said, I never used to feel safe when I went to bed or something like that because nobody came to tuck me in and I felt alone. But then she started to talk about memories she had about her dad touching her mom inappropriately in company, in the middle of, in front of their kids, in front of company, and her mother allowing it. Mother didn't say anything. He would use obscene language and be lewd and rude and crude, and she would just let it be and tell them that they had to, love their dad all the same. And she had no idea that her children, my client, Rita, was feeling terrified that her mother was going to possibly allow her dad to touch her the way that that the mother allowed herself to be touched. In other words, if he did it to his daughter, the mother wasn't going to be there to protect her. Imagine how unsafe that makes a little girl feel. And she'd grown up with those feelings. And the way she tried to cope with it was by being in control, taking charge, telling everybody what to do, organizing, and so that there was always this kind of barrier of activity around her where nobody could come near her, nobody could touch her unless it was orchestrated by her and under her control. So her husband, Tony, on the other hand, felt that he wasn't safe with her because whenever he tried to understand or take charge or do something that she wanted, she would dismiss it and disregard it and demean it and devalue it, and nothing was ever enough, and then he would shut down. Now, when he was growing up, his parents fought a lot, and he would try to appease at least one of them to stop the fighting, and it never worked. So he always felt as if he wasn't good enough. So then he wasn't safe because he didn't want to have to take sides, and he didn't want to have to be the mediator. So his only way of feeling safe was to shut down. So fast forward Tony and fast forward Rita. We have Tony, his way of feeling safe now in his adult life is to completely shut down. And in my office, that's what he would do when he's listening to Rita talk about how she lets him down, how he lets her down, and there's not a blink of his eye, not a twitch of his lip, not any movement. So he looks as if he's not caring, he doesn't get it, he's in la la land, whatever, and she's getting more and more angry because this is what she feels her mother did. Just sit there and not do anything and not care and not show that you even care. So then she would escalate, and the more she escalated, the more he would shut down because he needed to survive. And he got really upset that she couldn't see that he really did care and he was trying to take care of her, but that because he didn't show it, she had no idea. So both of them were feeling unsafe. And the way that I tried to help them was to get Rita to talk more about these episodes where she felt that her mother didn't put good boundaries down, didn't tell her dad what's okay, what's not okay, that she didn't feel safe that her mother would protect her if her father wanted to touch her inappropriately or say horrible, lewd things about his own daughter, and that he would do it in public and shame her as well. Similarly, with Tony, I helped him talk to Rita about his childhood of feeling unsafe when his parents were fighting. Like, would the family survive? Could he do anything about it? Was he good enough? Should he intervene? Would they listen? Would they respond? And same thing's happening now. And we kept doing that over and over and over and over and over and over until they started to get a sense that both of them are feeling unsafe inside. It's not about whether you have fences around you or enough locks on your doors. It's about feeling safe, that you have good boundaries and that people will respect them and that people will understand and not violate, that people will reach out and make things the way they should be when they're supposed to be the one in charge, that they will take care of each other when the other one is feeling unsafe with friends who drink too much, or unsafe when there's fighting going on and you're shutting down. And it was only through these constant experiences of sharing and opening up and sharing that they began to realize that they have something in common. Neither of them feel safe in any close, intimate relationship with an adult, especially an adult that you're sharing a life with. And it took a long, long time for them to start trusting a little bit and giving each other a little chance, a little bit of responsibility, and being more open from the get-go instead of waiting for crises to happen. But they did it, and it worked. And I hope that you will get something from listening to this story, that you will be able to tune into your feelings of threat and danger and lack of safety and speak more openly about it. And certainly share it with me in the comment section, and also ask any questions that you'd like about this issue. And if I'm able to, I'm most happy to respond. So until next time, safe boundaries and safe intimate relationships.